Hello, my name's Anand and welcome to this channel. I'm a life coach that focuses on wellness. So if you're returning back, hello again. If you're new, you're very welcome. And today I'm going to continue our journey on exploring all the different emotions and what happens when we don't allow them to be expressed in their full way. And you'll see a link to last week's video where we explored laughter. And this week I want to look at what we consider the opposite, and that's tears or crying. And today I want to explore what came to me is this freedom to cry. I believe, and I've witnessed and experienced it in myself, that many of us are really afraid to cry, or we cry in secret, or we apologize for crying. And there's something almost shameful about it. And for some of us, we don't cry at all. So particularly for the men out there that are watching this video, crying can be a significant challenge. So today I just want to explore a little bit more on looking at this resistance or fear of allowing tears to come and what you can do about that if you choose to. And I just thought for now I'd share the painting this week. So each week I'm adding a new layer. And this week, as you can tell, a lot of blue and a lot of white as well, and a little bit of purple. And the reason I brought these particular colours in to represent tears is because there's something deeply healing about crying. And I chose laughter last week and tears this week because when we laugh, often that can turn into tears. Laughter can be a great method to break into tears. And as I said, many of us feel either shame or we don't allow crying. And so the purple bit within the background here is to show that healing side, and the white is to represent the sort of lightness we feel after we've cried. I don't know about you. If you're comfortable sharing your experience on YouTube, or you can email me privately, but I'd love to know, how has it been for you when you've really had a really good cry? How do you physically feel afterwards? And that's what I want to explore. And I use this word, the freedom to cry, because when we cry, it does give us freedom. Whether it's old wounds that are locked inside of us, or we want to cry but we can't. For example, I'll use my own example, that when my sister died, I was very numb for a number of months. I did cry a lot, but I also was very numb and I didn't cry all of my tears. And as I said earlier, for men, it can be extremely challenging for a man to allow crying to come out, because there is a sort of a stigma, and often men also can't talk about their problems to their friends. There's a lot of data out there that highlights that. So men are particularly vulnerable, but it's deemed socially unacceptable for a man to cry. But both men and women have tear ducts. We both have the ability to cry. And we all, both men and women, need to be able to cry when it arises. So the freedom to cry is very, very powerful and very, very healing and very, very cleansing. And I was actually kind of reflecting, and emotions for me are almost like our weather. So when I think of crying, like a big storm of crying, it's, the rain pouring down and there's thunder and there's lightning and there's real tears. There's lots of different types of crying. But the real cathartic crying, that's like a storm. But if you look afterwards, when the storm is over, how much cleaner the air feels, how much lighter things feel. You know, in that period before the storm comes, the air gets thick and heavy and dense and humid, and you can just feel the weight of it coming down. And that's what happens to us when we repress our crying. We become heavy, dense, depressed, because we're holding it in and we're holding it in. And for some of us, we let it out in anger. For some of us, we let it out in depression, or it becomes depression, I should say. Or some of us do what I call is the socially acceptable cry. And this is you dab your eyes like this. Particularly, I would say a lot of women tend to do this. Just a little tear and, oh, sorry, I'm really sorry. I would love to ask every viewer who's seeing this, please stop apologising for crying. Please. You don't need to apologise for crying. It's a healthy emotion. And if you see how the repression of crying starts, we start it with children. The child cries and soothing is one thing, but shutting them up with sweets or something to put in their mouth, to stop the crying. That's the beginning of the conditioning, the blocking of the tears, the blocking of the crying. Oh, don't cry, you'll be all right. Well, no, actually, if you allow a child to fully cry, it's like, it's gone, it's empty. It's all gone, all the heaviness, all the blah, you just need a jolly bloody good cry. And then it's, the sun comes out, the light comes out, and that's why I put white in this painting, because lightness comes in when we cry. And so last week I asked, how deep is your laugh? This week I'm asking, have you cried all of your tears? Do you go, I don't cry? Or do you just do a little tear, oh, I'm sorry, and you block it? And to those that witness someone crying, again I have an ask from you too. Please don't hug or touch the person when they're crying. Wait. Just wait. Let them cry. Just sit in your uncomfortableness as you watch them crying. Sit with that feeling of, oh, I want to fix and help and take away their tears. And please don't tell them to stop crying. You'll be all right. It's fine. Or come out with platitudes or any of that. It doesn't help. Allow the person the freedom to cry. And if you're crying, allow yourself the freedom to cry. And if you're a man who doesn't allow himself to cry but is deeply depressed and is struggling in life, if you're very depressed, I would recommend therapeutic help. The coaching I do is emotional wellness. It's very different. But if, say, you've done your process and you know kind of your blocks and all of that, and maybe you want coaching around being able to cry, to allow or to have the freedom to cry, please get in touch with me. But if you need deeper help, you need therapeutic help, and that's not what coaching is. I just wanted to put that out there. And then there's methods and techniques that can help you get in touch with the tearness, with the sadness or with the feeling inside. Because some of us are so frozen and numb, we don't even know we need to cry. So particularly things like heart meditations can be extremely helpful because they start to move us from the head down into the heart, getting in touch with the body. Beginning to feel the sensations in your body can be very, very helpful. And again, there are lots and lots of different modalities out there that can help you to get in body-based therapies and things like that. That can support you to start to feel. There's a book I particularly really find very powerful. It's a heavy read, but it's called The Body Keeps the Score. And I can't pronounce his surname. He's Dutch. Well, he's US Dutch. Is it Bessel? Yeah, anyway, Van der Kolk. I'll put it into the link below. But right now my mind has gone blank. But The Body Keeps the Score is the book, and he talks about trauma, and he talks about different therapeutic ways that you can reconnect with your body. Also, the work of Peter Levine is also really powerful. If you're really numb and frozen, you can get in touch with a therapist, a body-based therapist that can help you get into that part of yourself that you've blocked out. I also speak from my own experience. I've had a long journey with therapy myself, and I've done a lot of body-based therapies because I was frozen. I would cry a little bit, like a little tear, but really I had decades of grief inside of me that needed to come out. And, I still move in and out of grief for different losses that I've encountered. And I have found that the power of crying has helped clear my energy a lot more. And now I'll cry at the drop of a hat. Even yesterday, out with a walk, listening with a friend and hearing something, I didn't care. I cried in the street. It's the freedom to cry. And I'm getting better at not apologizing. So if you find that you are blocked in tears, and it's a really deep-rooted issue, please get some therapeutic help. Particularly for the men out there that are feeling really alone and struggling. You've no one to talk to. You're afraid to show your tears. You feel it might be unmanly. And you might get slagged. Listen, I used to work with 70-odd men. I was a postwoman a long time ago. Myself and one other woman, and 72 men. And it was all jokes, banter, laughing, And different men were going through different issues that they privately told me. And they'd no one to talk to, no one to turn to. So if you're that man, please get help. There are a lot of resources out there. There's Mental Health Ireland. They have a lot of links there. There's the website for all the IACP. That's another option there. Look at body-based therapies. Osho active meditations can be a fantastic way to release things from your body. As I said, and I've mentioned various other names there, but do get the help. And if you've already done some counselling or done some therapy work, and you kind of are getting more in touch with your body, but you're still struggling to cry, and you want to explore that in a coaching session, or coaching sessions, I would love to work with you. And we can explore that and find ways through meditation, through coaching, through creating goals and actions that can help you get in touch with that tender part of yourself that needs to cry, that needs the freedom to cry. Or if you find yourself that you're constantly apologizing for crying and you feel ashamed about crying and it's holding you back, do get in touch. But again, the criteria is that you have done some work already before coming to me for coaching. Because I'm conscious there's a fine line where people might think coaching is therapy. It's not. And for those of you who don't opt for coaching, I hope you get something from this video and that you start to look at and explore, what's my freedom to cry? Do I allow myself all of my tears? And do I allow others around me to fully cry? Whether it's your child, your parent, your friend, your aunt, whoever. Just sitting with somebody whilst they cry. And then when they're finished crying, then asking them, would you feel comfortable if I was to give you a hug or something? And then wait for them to invite you in. That gives them their dignity and their freedom to cry. So if you resonate with anything I've shared in this video, feel free to drop a comment below. You may not be comfortable doing that. That's okay. Also, you drop me an email. If you are stuck and you're kind of need some support, just let me know. And either I can help you in coaching or I can refer you to various resources that can more appropriately support you. So thank you for listening. And next week we move on to another emotion as we journey through this. And 2 things. I'm on Substack now, and so you're welcome to follow me there if you're a reader and you like reading. I'm also sharing some of my art there. And I've created a blog page that has all of the paintings I'm doing, so you can see each painting each week. I'll add it on for you to kind of see how the image is changing. I'm having great fun doing this, so thank you very much for listening in, and I'll see you again. Bye bye.